Okay, let's set up the spectrophotometer.
Jared's going to run us through the setup of the spectrophotometer, so take notes so you'd be able to do this on your own.
First, we need to bring down the sensitivity.
Spectrophotometer.
Now we have our scanning settings. Now we need to put a blank sample in. Make sure the optics are lined up. Here's our dark.
So you've now learned how to use the Ocean Optics Spectrophotometer, and just in review, remember that the first thing you do is turn on the spectrophotometer and allow at least 15 minutes for the incandescent light to come up to temperature. You then adjust the integration time so the detector isn't getting too much light. You then take a reference or blank spectra sample, which is usually the solvent in which your analyte is dissolved. You then put in a light blocking cuvette, replace the blank sample or reference sample with a what we call the black sample or the dark reference. You put in a light blocking cuvette in this particular instrument and obtain the dark spectra to correct for stray light. And then you are now ready to obtain spectra. I just want to remind you that today you learned a few definitions, so make sure you know them. Deionized water is water that is pure. It has no salt in it or ions, so it's deionized. So it's the pure water. We learned about analytes, which is really the solute that's put in a solution that you're trying to analyze with the instrument. So sometimes in analytical chemistry, we refer to that as the analyte. For this particular experiment, the crystal violet is the analyte that we're trying to measure. You talked about an incandescent light bulb. Just to remind you, that's the old style light bulb that uses a hot filament. And so you have to let it warm up for a while so that it comes to a consistent temperature, and then you get a consistent light output. And that's what we tend to use when you, on spectrophotometers, if you're trying to measure to the ultraviolet region, which we're not today, but that's the type of bulb you might use. It's the only efficient or inexpensive way to get deuterium light. But the common bulbs, or the ones you guys are using nowadays, are called LED or light emitting diodes, and they work fine in the visible light spectrum. And we like those because they're very efficient. They don't give off so much heat. So they just take the electricity, turn it directly to light. And also, if you're using it in a spectrophotometer like the Pascos, which is the other form of spectrophotometer we have in our lab, it can actually be turned on and off, and it doesn't have to come to temperature. So that can be just turned off if you're trying to obtain the dark spectra. All right, so I hope that helps. See you in the lab.